So who saw this coming? Weeks after the Young Bucks win back the AEW Tag Team Championships, they have now dropped those championships to Swerve and Keith Lee in a banger of a match. Now the question is, where are we going to go with the new AEW Tag Team Champions, which don't really like each other at this point in time? And are AEW going to continue to hot potato titles, as that seems to be the in thing in 2022? We're going to get into it in just a second, so stay tuned. What's up, Maniacs? My name is Mex. I'm a wrestling fan, a wrestling enthusiast, a WrestleManiac if you will, and right here at WrestleManiac UK, I discuss everything that's WWE and AEW. So if this sounds like the place for you, make sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell so you get notified each and every time I drop a new video. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get into it. So firstly, the main event. Ricky Starks, Will Hobbs, Swerve Strickland, Keith Lee, the Young Bucks. Banger of a main event. I mean, the talents in that match would say that, yeah, this match was always going to bang, but it didn't need to bang to the extent that it banged. A lot of banging's going on. But yeah, it was a proper good match. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed this match. And yeah, in that last kind of 10 minutes of the match, the near falls were really near falling. Like, anybody could have walked away with the titles at that point. As it were, Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee walked away as champions. The confetti blew, the titles were handed to them. They did embrace, despite, you know, like I said, their differences. And yeah, we've got new AEW Tag Team Champions. And yeah, this does come a matter of weeks after Young Bucks won those Tag Team Championships from Jurassic Express. Now, there seems to be a lot of kind of confusion, a lot of, yeah, we're happy for Swerve and Keith Lee, but what is the real meaning behind all of this? And I guess I'm here to kind of provide some context and my opinion on what this means and why they're doing certain things. So yeah, just kind of bear with me, and I want to hear from you guys as well. Put all your thoughts down below in the comments. So obviously we thought this title change was going to happen some weeks ago. Jurassic Express versus Starks and Hobbs versus Swerve and Keith Lee. We thought that was a match where we were going to see a change of the titles, and it didn't come then, and we were all kind of perplexed as to why. I think with this current tag team change of Keith Lee and Swerve winning the titles, we do need to remember it was reported a matter of weeks ago that the Hardys were supposed to become the AEW Tag Team Champions, and obviously because of the misdemeanor that Jeff found himself in, that didn't happen. And maybe, yeah, the Bucks were given the championships off the back of that, but they weren't actually supposed to be the Tag Team Champions. So maybe for the sake of that match, the Young Bucks were given the Tag Team Championships, but because as per plans they weren't supposed to be, they then moved the Tag Team Championships off them to Swerve and Keith Lee. I mean, this is me just trying to make some sense of it. I don't think this necessarily needed to happen if that was the case, because the Hardys didn't win the Tag Team Championships in the first place. So they didn't need to necessarily put it on Bucks just to take it off the Bucks now, but here we are. Just to speak on Swerve and Keith Lee quickly, like, the work they've been doing in recent months has been very good. This addition of the friction between the two of them also helps to kind of give them like an inbuilt story into their tag team title run now. It almost seems like AEW are doing the old can they coexist storyline with Keith Lee and Swerve, especially now that they're tag team champions. I can't lie, there's a little piece of me that still feels it for Starks and Hobbs. Them man there, they've been doing some great stuff, man. Will Hobbs has done a complete 360 with me. I am so invested in Will Hobbs right now. That spot in the match where he spine busted 4-man, Keith Lee on the bottom, then spine busted every man on top of him. Like, absolutely nut stuff. I am so here for Will Hobbs right now. Will Swerve and Keith Lee be transitional champions? Now, this is the thing that I think is irritating some people. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with them being transitional champions. Same way I don't think there's anything wrong with AEW hot potatoing a lot of titles this year. It seems that way. Obviously we've seen Hangman as champion, Punk champion briefly, and now it's on Moxley, so that one looks like a bit of hot potato. The TNT title, yeah, we can say confirmed hot potato. The tag team title has now changed several times in a short space of time. So it's looking like maybe they're taking a bit of a different approach this year with the titles, or maybe just because of things like injuries and booking plans changing, they've had to kind of adapt quickly. Either way, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but because Keith Lee and Swerve do have this inner conflict in their team right now, which they need to solve, it looks like that, yeah, this could be an easy way for them to lose the titles because they can't even get along. If we look a bit further down the line, when we saw Young Bucks become tag team champions again, everyone basically earmarked All Out 2022, FTR versus Young Bucks, all the titles on the line in the main event of All Out. I think that's what everyone thought was going to happen. Still can happen. We are still obviously a long way away from the beginning of September when All Out is supposed to be, so that can still happen. But I think this has kind of thrown a spanner in the works of, you know, is this gonna happen basically? The Young Bucks can still come back and beat Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. They may come back with the old trope of we weren't pinned in the triple threat match, so we want a rematch, and then they win the rematch, and then of course the whole internet will cry out, well, what was the point putting the titles on Swerve and Keith Lee then? It's gonna happen. It's one of these things in wrestling. It can easily happen. And then yeah, come All Out, we still get Young Bucks versus FTR. But yeah, all in all, it looks like there's a lot of kind of hot potatoing of titles. It looks like there's a lot of transitioning of titles going on between people on the roster. Maybe that's what happens when you have a loaded roster. I don't know. Maybe this is how they best wish to kind of manage this, and fans might have to adapt to their way of thinking. Obviously, very early on in AEW, we were seeing a lot of long, meaningful title reigns. Less so much in the last couple of months. Is very much like once champions become champion, they need to really make their stamp ASAP, because in a couple months time, they may not be champion anymore. So it could be some adapting for us, the audience, to do. Something we're not used to, maybe something that a lot of us don't like. We want the long-term storytelling. We want, you know, 6 to 9 month to 12-month champions. It can't always happen that way, but maybe it is something that we need to kind of condition ourselves that yes, this is possible, that it could happen this way. So yeah, big congratulations to Swerve and Keith Lee. It's going to be very interesting to see this run, like I said, especially while they are having inner conflict. Maybe Keith Lee goes backstage and he sees the part in the match where Swerve was thinking about hitting him over the head with the tag team championships. That would be interesting if they kind of played that out on TV. But yeah, we almost feel like something else is waiting in the wings. It may not be too long before the Young Bucks actually come knocking back on their door and be like, listen, we want a rematch, and win those titles back. It'll be very interesting to see how this is all going to be booked over the next month and a bit as we get towards All Out. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts on Swerve and Keith Lee becoming tag team champions. Let me know your thoughts on transitional champions. Let me know your thoughts on hot potato Tony Khan passing around all the titles a bit more frequently these days in AEW. If you enjoyed today's video, please smash the like button, leave us with a thumbs up. I appreciate that. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you get notified each and every time I drop a new video. WrestleManiac UK signing out, and I'll see you soon.